Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Law Chats with John and Amy. I'm John Yulian.
And I'm Amy Poliafico. This week's question is, what should I expect from my 341 or trustee meeting?
I think I'll start out with what is a trustee in bankruptcy. So a trustee in bankruptcy works for the Department of Justice and is a special position created to oversee bankruptcy cases. The two most common types of bankruptcy cases that individuals file are Chapter 7 bankruptcy and Chapter 13 bankruptcy. And Amy, maybe you can talk about what goes on at these trustee hearings. And when I call them a trustee hearing, some people will use the term 341 hearing, but those terms are interchangeable. A trustee hearing, a 341 hearing, we're talking about the same thing.
A meeting of creditors, all three are the same.
That's correct. So, Amy, can you talk about, for example, whether it be a Chapter 7 or Chapter 13, what can someone expect to occur at the trustee hearing?
Yeah, so for most people, the trustee meeting is the only time you're really directly involved in meeting someone. Most Chapter 13s and 7s, you'll never meet a judge, and this will be the only time that you ever meet your trustee. And these meetings used to happen in person, and because of COVID now they're all telephonic. I assume at some point they'll go back into person. And the way it works is they schedule these typically Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays in the morning. They schedule 5 or so of them for every half hour, so they anticipate spending 5 or 6 minutes with each case. And the trustee is assigned to, their job is to get you to answer a series of questions under oath so they have your answers on record, and to look into your case to make sure that you're disclosing all of your assets and your liabilities and your income. Make sure everything is accurate. If there's an issue with your Chapter 13 plan, most likely they'll bring it up then, or if they have concerns about any of the forms that were filed. Or in a Chapter 7, if there are unexempt assets, which we will talk about in a later podcast, addressing those. And so what happens is the trustee will literally just go through your paperwork with you. You'll be sworn in, and it's a series of mostly yes or no questions. Have you filed all your tax returns that you're required to file? I see you list a property here in Braintree, Massachusetts. Do you own any other real estate? Have you owned any other real estate in the last 10 years? And it's pretty quick and painless. In Chapter 13, it will be when your first bankruptcy plan payment is due. And there's not one in Chapter 7. And after 5 minutes or so, you're done. I mean, from my experience, pretty much every single person after they're done is like, that's it, I'm done. Like, why did I stress out about that so much? And that's the last time you'll pretty much meet the trustee.
Right, because you're signing the papers that are submitted under the penalties of perjury. So you've had to disclose all this information, and the trustee is confirming what's been put on paper. Maybe they have some additional areas they want to cover. But if you've been forthcoming and you've been truthful and you're there with your attorney, if there were going to be issues, your attorney should have prepared you for potential issues that may come up. So you hope there are no surprises. I know you brought up oftentimes you'll never see a judge. Well, you hope you never have to see the judge, because then that means there's not problems with your case. So I think that gives you a good overview, at least, of what you can expect at the trustee hearing. And sometimes cases do have problems, and the trustee hearings run longer. But if you've disclosed everything and you've gone through this thoroughly with your attorney, you should know what to expect when you go to that trustee hearing. This seems like a good place to end for today.
Yeah. Thanks for joining Law Chats with John and Amy. We look forward to chatting with you again next week.
If you have a question or comment, feel free to email us at info@yulianlaw.com. Remember that Law Chats with John and Amy is intended as a general reference and considered general advertising, and listeners should check for changes to any applicable laws and consult with an attorney on any legal issue. The information provided does not constitute legal advice, and any thoughts or commentary by the podcasting lawyers is provided as a service to the community and does not constitute solicitation of legal advice. The lawyers in the law firm of Yulian & Associates PC make no warranties and disclaim all liabilities for damages resulting from its use. Nothing provided in the podcast should be considered a substitute for advice from counsel. No attorney-client relationship is formed by listening or participating in this podcast, and in the event that the podcast receives emails about the subject matter, no attorney-client relationship is created via the email communication.